Hello everybody, and welcome to Ancient Architects. Back in July 2018, I made a video that showed how the record-breaking British heatwave this summer has revealed a vast amount of crop marks, which are unmistakably the outline of historic buildings and structures. And now, yet more discoveries have come to light. Archaeologists working with Historic England, a British historical preservation body, took to the skies to find the hidden markings and past archaeological sites, which become more and more apparent following dry soil conditions. Duncan Wilson, Chief Executive of Historic England, said, "This spell of very hot weather has provided the perfect conditions for our aerial archaeologists to see beneath the soil." From a personal level, the most exciting discoveries to date are this pair of rectangular crop marks photographed near Milton Keynes. To the untrained eye, they appear somewhat mundane and nondescript, but they are unquestionably the outline of Neolithic Cursus monuments, which date back to approximately 3500 BC. These monuments are arguably the most mysterious of ancient Britain, as nobody knows for sure what their purpose was. Most experts believe they are ancient processional pathways, but there is no evidence for such a claim. Cursus monuments are a major focus in the book I'm currently writing, and I'll be offering a new interpretation that fits all the examples found across the UK, from the Greater Cursus next to Stonehenge to the four located at Rudston. The shape, layout and specific location of Cursus monuments are all important, and these new crop marks near Milton Keynes clearly display two Cursus monuments. For those interested in the latest discoveries from August 2018, I'll now run through them and offer a short description of what we're seeing, which, until excavations have taken place, is a calculated guess, based on their form and comparisons to past discoveries. This circular crop mark found at Suntive, Cornwall, probably comes from a roundhouse that dates back to England's Iron Age, between 800 BC and AD 43. These types of settlements, with a circular bank and outer ditch that contains one entrance and a roundhouse close to the edge of the ditch, was common in Cornwall at the time. These crop marks reveal another prehistoric settlement in Cornwall. This unusual layout consists of two concentric ditches, with an entrance connected by two parallel ditches. The inner ditch would have enclosed a Bronze or Iron Age settlement, whereas the outer ditch would have been used as a means to manage livestock later in history. In Yorkshire, archaeologists found four crop mark squares that likely reveal ditches enclosing a burial mound. Iron Age square barrows are common in this area, and these are yet more examples. These circular crop marks found in Scropton, Derbyshire, likely depict a complicated structure from a Bronze Age burial mound, or barrow, but will need further excavation to positively identify what once stood here. In Clare, Suffolk, these crop marks either belong to a prehistoric settlement or a cemetery. There is an entrance at the top left and two circles inside that could be ditches surrounding Iron Age roundhouses, or possibly Bronze Age burial mounds. In Bicton, Devon, archaeologists found crop marks likely depicting a Roman farm. The square in the centre could have contained farm buildings surrounded by fields and paddocks. These crop marks found in Somerset likely reveal prehistoric farms from the Bronze or Iron Age. And this circular formation, found in Church Stanton, Somerset, is probably a prehistoric enclosure surrounded by a thin ditch and an entrance at the top. To the right of this gatehouse, built in 1557, there are crop marks that mark where the grass is dying over another building, Tixall Hall, that was built in 1555. These marks are intermingled with others that depict the foundations of a partially built hall demolished in 1926. This protected site, a prehistoric ceremonial landscape that dates back to around 4000 BC to 700 BC in Oxfordshire, has been known to exist for some time, but this new survey revealed new, previously unknown features such as the circle of pits. The more difficult sites to interpret from the air will certainly require further exploration and excavation to untangle their history. But with so many new archaeological sites discovered in such a short space of time, British archaeologists have no shortage of work ahead of them. So how do these crop marks form? Well, taking this illustration of a small Iron Age settlement as an example, we can see that it consists of a circular house surrounded by a ditch with an internal bank. A timber fence or palisade surrounds the enclosure, and there's a single entrance that leads to the house, around which is an eave-strip gully. The two four-post structures to the side of the house are storage for grain or other agricultural produce. The next illustration depicts the same place but many years later, during the Roman period. The roundhouse is now replaced by a rectangular stone-built house with fencing throughout to divide the gardens, field and farmhouse. The ditch is slightly backfilled and grass has grown on it. The bank is lower and less steep. Now, in the 21st century, the same place is revealed through crop marks. The dark green circles represent crop marks forming over something missing beneath the ground, like ditches. Archaeologists looking at this in real sites would probably guess these dark green marks date back to the Iron Age, and the inner enclosure represents a roundhouse whilst the outer enclosure represents a ditch. The rectangular crop mark is lighter, suggesting it's something solid like a building foundation. Archaeologists would guess that it appeared later on because one corner slightly cuts into the mark of the roundhouse. Now, archaeologists have begun an excavation at the same site. Here, they can really see the crop marks. Above the ditches, the crops are taller, their roots are deeper, and they ripen later than surrounding areas. The opposite is seen above solid structures, the roots are shallower. Many roundhouses weren't surrounded by a gully, which makes them more difficult to find via aerial photography. Although many of the structures in many of the aerial photographs are relatively obvious to identify, some of the findings are difficult to untangle. In Cornwall, for example, archaeologists saw what was most likely multiple settlements stacked above one another. Here, they found round crop marks that likely date to the Iron Age, settlements that include a circular bank and an outer ditch, most likely with a roundhouse inside. But in this same place, they also found rectangles and two ditches, and aren't sure if the two types of structure are related. The same field also contains a barrow, likely from the Bronze Age. But for me, these two Cursus monuments near Milton Keynes are of great significance, as they hark back to a time when Britain had recently transitioned into a Neolithic community, and it is my belief that these monuments had no ritual or religious significance, but were actually survival structures that were crucial to the success of Neolithic life. Thank you very much for watching this news update from Ancient Architects. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, and please leave a comment below. Thank you very much.